Welcome to the channel. We are here to talk about tips and tricks for the Operation Heat. This is the summer event of 2019, and I am here with Punchy, Aquanut, Viper Rise 152, and Midnight Marauder. So the first thing we're going to be talking about is ground vehicles. The set of things we have to do for ground vehicles are destroy 45 enemies in AB, win 10 battles, capture 15 points, destroy 11 vehicles in one game, and help allies 25 times. It's 25 assist. And everything we're going to be talking about is arcade battles. If you need tips and tricks for realistic battles, you can head over to the European Canadians video. I probably will be posting a link in the description below. So, for the first one, I think that we should all focus on destroying 11 vehicles in one battle. If you, I think if you focus on that and try to get that, the rest, will semi-follow. Um, More than likely, we will be playing this as a unit, so the getting assist should be a little bit easier than playing with randos. Dan, you did mention or Chad, you mentioned a Japanese 3.7 lineup for ground
No,
vehicles that you liked.
3.3.
That's 3.7.
Oh, well, if you
It's
throw in the
3.7.
Chinu too.
You have to throw in the Chinu 2. So you suggested the Chinu 2, the Natu, and the M24.
M24. Roger that.
All tier 3 rank, tier 3, 3.7. Dan, what do you think? I think that is awesome for an event.
Yeah, that's good too. But you can just do it with the 3.3 as well. With you leave out the
The
Chinu
Chinu 2.
2, because
Well,
the other two vehicles are also tier 3. You just run a backup if you
well,
want.
if you remember when we did this last year, the jumbos were 4.7. Remember that?
Well, yeah, they changed some of
They're
the
5.0
VRs.
now. So what will you not see playing 3.7 now?
Land.
Well, yeah, definitely.
You will not see the jumbo again.
Well, I think the other thing I like about the lineup is the M24. If you're going for base caps, then you
Oh
got your
yeah,
Yeah,
base cap.
the M24
and
is
and
Yeah.
great base capper. Uh, Punchy, what do you think? Tier 3 ground lineup.
Well, I think Midnight Marauders lineup is pretty good. It does presume that the players have the Chinu 2, which is a premium vehicle. Many of us do, some may not have that. Another thing worth noting is historically, it's been starting with a tier 3 and ending with a tier 3. And sometimes you could get away with a
Tier
tier
2
2 in the
in the
middle.
middle.
But I think the Japanese lineup is good. I would also consider the Cobra King, which is a premium, the Jumbo, and then another 5-0 in a lineup to try to get 11 kills. Because the Cobra King is, if you get a good matchup, you can get 11 kills.
So I'm looking at the the American 5.0 lineup. You have the M4A1 76W, the M4A2 76W, the regular jumbo, and even an M6A1 if you. This is all considering you don't even have the Cobra King. Their 5.0 lineup is really strong in the game. And if you need base captures, you always have the M18 at rank 3. You're almost guaranteed one base cap every game if you just spawn in your M18 and rush to the point.
yep.
That's true.
It's 15 games, 15 base captures. It's if you don't get 2 or 3 in a game with the M18. Okay, so 5-0 Americans, great lineup. What do you guys think about Germans?
I like the. I like a 5-7 lineup with a VFW, Waffenträger,
Ooh.
Yep.
uh, Panther
Waffles.
A, Panther D, and throw out maybe a Tiger E.
Oh,
I think that's a great lineup.
And remember, during the event, since we need assist, you have to stick. You have to stick with your group. Remember, it's not teamworks, but it's assist. So
Yeah.
machine
I'm thinking
guns or
Waffenträger VFW is kills, kills, kills. Um,
So basically, I spawn with you, I maim him, and then you kill him.
yeah, if you can beat me to it. Waffen Trigger or
You better get your hits
VFW
quick.
with a 4 second reload of the
Well,
VFW.
if you remember the last couple years, we would call out the targets that we've hit. Remember how we used to
Yeah,
do that?
yeah.
Calling out the targets.
Roger
Punchy would be like, "Oh, I shot this guy," and then one of us would come in and finish him off.
Now it's an assist, not a supporting fire, so it doesn't matter if unless it says supporting fire,
It's assist. That means it can be
anybody can take it out.
any blueberry. Any blueberry
As
can.
long as you make a critical hit on a vehicle, then you're pretty much guaranteed if somebody else kills it if you die. But if you just
Yeah,
get like little hits on a vehicle and you die and nobody kills it right away,
you don't
you
get
don't.
that assist.
Another little trick for getting assists that I've used in the past, and sometimes the rules will vary. But if you take a fighter airplane and you try to find a tank destroyer with an open top,
Yep.
strafe and kill one of the crew to
Yes.
get the critical hit that Dan had
Or,
mentioned. And
or spray and pray with a spa. Bring
Bring out a
wind.
warp. Just
Horrible wind. Is this 43 or something? You can
so
just
I
Doesn't work.
know
The
the
whirlwind kills everything you shoot at.
well,
You don't get assists.
you
it
can
is.
stop. It doesn't say you have to continue your full
So
fire.
I'm looking at tier 3 German. I'll get to Viper in a moment. They do have a lot of lower tiered premium vehicles if you have them, people. Um, we call the Panzerpaffwagen Churchill, which is a 4.0,
The jerky.
Panzer KV 1B, the Panzervolkswagen Vier, and the KV2 754. Those are all 4.3 and below. That's a pretty good lineup if you have gold vehicles. Viper, what would you take out? All tier 3. You have to begin and end at a tier 3 in the event.
5-7 Russians.
5.7 Russians. Okay, let me bring that 5.7 Russian
A 5-3
lineup right
Russian.
now.
Nope, 5-7 Russians. IS-2, IS-1, T-34, 85, D5T.
Well, that's a five. The D5T is a 5-3.
Yeah, but he also said T-3485.
Yeah, this
Yeah,
is straight
so
34.
playing 5.7, you do get the IS-2, the T-3485. Um, there's a lot to choose from at 5.7 uh, Soviets.
I use that one because I've been getting kill heavy kills for dailies like every day, or kill with heavy, so that's why I've been playing that.
So just at 5.3, 5.7 for the Russians, you have T-3485, KV-85, IS-1, IS-2, T-3485. That's 1, 2, 3. That's 5 tanks that are just great at 5.3, 5.7.
The SU-85M.
Oh, I forgot about that one. Yep. But why would you take the Su-85M when you had those other 3 vehicles? Or you just take that as a backup?
If the daily tells me to.
No. Oh yeah. So once again, Viper brought up a big point. When during these events, keep an eye on your dailies. You have to do your dailies, and since this event is starting at the beginning of the month, War Bonds or the War Bond shop will be restarting a day before the event starts. So you have to make sure to be doing your special task, your daily task, and also the event. So you can have to do 3 things at a time. You're gonna have to worry about a lot of things. So the British tier 3 is basically like a 4.0, 4.7 lineup. I wouldn't suggest
Yeah,
it. You have Churchills, a couple Achilles, and it's really not a very strong 4.0 lineup for
You gotta play high
the
tier
Brits.
British, or it's not gonna work.
Okay.
Well,
Anybody?
if you want your assist, take out the British.
Yeah.
Yes, yes. That will work too. Okay, so let's skip to the Italians. The Italians have semi-low tier. They have the M105 25 at 3.0, the 75 34, M43 at 3.3, the R3 T23-7, and the Beretta at 501. Or you can go middle tier, 6.7 gets you all the Fiats and the Abel, the Fiats. What do you guys think in the Italians, or would you just not play the Italians?
I don't think I'd play Italian.
Mm,
I don't know if I'd play Italian or French.
well,
Well,
French with the Lorraine
Oh, the
40T and
French. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. The French 6.7 lineup is
yeah,
fantastic.
that's gonna crush people.
I would use the yeah French 6.7s for sure.
You guys know that the AMX 50 has been upgraded from 6.7 to a 7.0 now, right? If you guys didn't know,
Doesn't
that
matter.
happened.
The 13 MX 1390 is that's my baby. MX 40
Hmm.
beautiful.
Oh.
I will only play those two
Well,
countries if the new decals say I have to.
almost makes me want to talk dirty.
Oh yeah, the new. Oh yeah. Also,
French.
Viper brought up another point. The decals, the decals should be also be resetting on the beginning of the month. That is another thing you guys, everyone's gonna have to worry about. So there's a lot to actually think about when you're playing this event and what you have to do.
Yeah, but a lot of the stuff will probably go hand in hand.
Yeah, but if you have the decal, which is, let's say they put the decal in and it's like Italian tier 3, you're like, shit, I have to play Italians. I wasn't planning on playing it Italians for the event.
Oh, don't turn, dude. Don't.
Um,
So, Mark,
yeah, but
any ideas?
the decals, if you're desperate, you just finish your stuff out and then
oh, wait, for the Italian or
rewards
the
for the
French?
Italian.
Both, either one. The Italians or French lineup. Tier
Well, the
3.
R3 would be good for getting some base captures. It's really fast.
Oh, he's got a point,
If
guys.
you don't roll it.
If you don't.
Well, here's okay. I'm sitting with Italians right now. So yeah, the 3.0, the 105. You got the R3 T20.
Remember, they all got to be tier 3.
Yeah,
These are
he's
all tier
that's all
three,
he's looking at, yeah.
and the 7543 is a 3.3. So you could do a 3.733 lineup. You'd have the speed of the R3 to cap, and then I mean the guns on the 3.3 and the 3.0 are so.
You know,
But
you
I think
could you could spawn in the R3, respawn for your second spawn in the like the P40 or the P40 Lianchetto,
exactly. I was just gonna say
and
Lianchetto
then you
and
J
send it
out
out.
right before the game ends and get into either your 105-25 or your 75 R35 at the end of the game. And
Yeah, Roger that.
because the
Yep,
P40 is still pretty good at 3.7.
that's a great call. That's a really good call.
I guess the French you could always play the T-pose lineup.
What's your
It's
TPO lineup?
I don't know whatever their BR is. I don't remember what it
well,
is.
the
I just
T-Po's a
know
4.7. That's what I'm playing right
Well, the
now.
Tippo's Italian.
that's what
No,
I'm.
you mean
Okay.
the
Oh,
SA50. SA50
Yeah,
is
that's
good.
A50. My bad. Yeah.
so would you
That's
do
got a
the
great.
SA50 with 4.7 or do you take your jumbo and call it your jumbo lineup?
I would 5.0 it because you don't really have anything down below. You have an AR down below it that's 4.0, and
So I have a lineup of my a
the
jumbo lineup.
DCA is
So mine is jumbo SA50 and what do you guys usually take? My second two are the DCA 40 and the
yep,
ARL 40.
AMX.
What do you
yep,
guys usually do for your
I
third?
don't take
yep.
the ARL. I take the AMX 13.
Okay.
Yeah,
It's
the
a good thing to
ARL's
shoot down
like
planes.
crap.
Yeah, that first ARL, nah, that's
Yeah,
garbage. You can get chewed through. The second ARL is
talk
not
about
bad, but
dude. I got 400. I got all the skins on that. I got 450 kills on that stupid thing.
Okay, so what are you guys gonna focus in on first? I know me, I'm probably gonna do like jumbo lineups and try to get 11 kills in a game first. Or do you focus in on getting 15 caps? Because remember, you need 3 out of 5 of the marks of distinctions for the week.
mm,
Because the 10 games, that'll happen. Well, maybe not. The kill 40, 45, we can all do that in a day easily, especially when we're playing what we like. So what are you guys going to focus in on? Destroying the 11 players in a game or to capturing 15 points? Because those, I
Oh,
think,
I don't know. Caps take forever. I think you might get one, maybe two a game. I
but it's
would go
better
for
than
the
winning
kill.
10 games. It's almost the same
well,
amount of time.
you figure
Yeah, it would
as
take
you're
about the
rushing
same
for
amount
your
of time.
caps, you tend to kill as many as you can,
Hmm.
Well, that's why I
especially if
like
you got
playing
something like quick
the lower.
reload.
you play 3/7. Kind of depends. If you keep getting up tier to 3/7, then I'd probably bag it and go to something different.
See, I would use my 3/7 Russians, or maybe even 4/0, and I'd come in with the 29K.
Oh, the
3457.
Russian 29K lineup. I see where you're going with this.
29K, the T3457, throw in the T3450, yeah, 34 1942.
I'm gonna throw this out there. What about two H's? Tiger 2H, SLA. You got that in your lineup? Those are tough
Oh yeah,
tanks.
They are.
That's a great lineup. If you had four guys in Tiger 2Hs and SLAs, I mean, you'd probably get all of your assists and kills taken care of pretty quick.
One thing I'm not gonna recommend. I don't know if you guys have played it recently. They basically nerfed the KV2 where it can't kill anything anymore.
really.
Bad.
So your 4-0 lineup is basically T3457, ASU 57, SU 57B, and the 29K, stuff like that.
29K.
Yeah. Would you up would you upgrade it to a 4-3 to maybe get the KV1E in there or the T3457 1943?
1943.
If you have
Um,
gold the gold vehicles,
yeah, it all
it,
depends on what
it
people have.
it might be a little worth it to upgrade to just um up tier
It also
yourself by
depends
point
on.
0.3. What the
I
other
mean,
people
most of
have.
my crews are aced, so it all depends on what they have got going on. Excuse me, with their crews and the
Yeah,
vehicle, if it's experted or not, or excuse me.
Oh yeah.
yeah. I mean,
So,
personally, I probably wouldn't. The difference between 4.0 and 3.7 can be can be,
Oh no,
can appear.
no,
So,
I was talking about 4-3 and 4-0.
well, 4/3
oh, okay.
definitely puts you into that higher, heavier stuff. You're definitely in with the 5/0s, and 4 you might get an occasional jumbo, maybe a jerk chill,
That
but
T3457 against a jumbo, just get to the side.
side or machine gun port.
Yep. I think I already have like a lineup set up for that same thing.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, I would probably focus first on do my daily tasks, and ideally try to have a daily task that helps to coincide with
Right.
some of the some of these tasks. And
Spend
the
a few
second,
extra lions and change your crappy
oh
ones.
yeah, oh yeah. And the second thing is don't get caught up in the whole, having the ideal lineup, in the sense that sometimes you get in a rut. Sometimes if you're playing 4-0 and you just can't win battles for some reason, you can't kill tanks.
Switch it up.
Switch it up to a 5-0, another preset, and often your luck will change.
Yep.
Oh yeah.
Okay, so that's pretty much our advice for tanks. Um, any last thing, Viper?
Mm.
We're just gonna be rocking the Soviets
Oh,
and
my bad.
Americans.
I was muted.
Anything you want to put into tanks before we move on to planes?
Nah, not really. Just play what you like.
Chad, play what you like.
No,
That's good advice.
I think we covered a lot.
Dan
Yeah.
or
Yeah. Just
Aquanaut?
keep to your keep to your strengths. What you usually do well with. Just
Playing a group. The class squadron now has 70 something people. You know, get on the thing, message the other class members, see if they want to play a few games together. So it'd be easier to get, assists. Mark, any last thing before we move
No,
on to
I think I
planes?
pretty much said everything. Be somewhat flexible in your approach, though. Things are not going well. Be willing to change your lineup and play it
Don't
differently.
get frustrated.
Yes, I try to have fun.
Yep. Find uranium
Yes.
and play Waffenträgers all night.
Okay, so we're gonna be moving on to
oh
planes.
no.
And the 5 things you have to do is kill 35 allies, or kill 35 enemies.
Do I
Yes.
mute myself
Kill
now?
kill your allies.
Kill your allies.
Bomb the
Win
green.
win 10 battles. Drop 10 tons of bombs of TNT on an enemy base. Destroy 11 enemies in one battle. And help 7 allies destroy enemy vehicles. So to let you know, from last year, they've actually made it a little bit easier. They increased the number of kills from 30 to 35 from last year, and they decreased the number of assists you need from 10 to 7. I think that is a great change. It makes it quite a bit easier. We just had a couple people in the squadron chat complaining about assist today for that exact same reason. Um, so my advice on this one is start with the 10 tons of bombs. Dropping 10 tons on enemy bases in air arcade is the easiest thing in the world. Um, it's hard to do in British bombers because British bombers are semi-slow and they like to get shot down before you get to the point. But
I disagree.
okay, I'll get we'll get to the our bomber loadout in a moment. But I find it the easiest way to drop 10 tons of bombs are the DOE 17s. The DOE 17s have a max speed in arcade of almost 800 kph or 700 and something kph. And if you just dive at the base, you will drop your entire bomb load, which is in arcade, I think 3.46 tons of bombs in a single bomb load. Viper, what do you think about British bombers? I know you like them.
Sterling's.
Oh yeah,
Ster-
Sterling's.
Sunderland. Well, yeah, you need
Okay,
tier three, right?
this.
just take a Sterling. The Sterling drops almost 6 tons of per base in
Yes,
BR
the
because the
Sterlings.
tonnage adjusts to the BR.
Yeah,
So at four whatever the Sterling is 4.7 4.3, it averages between 5.5 something and 6 point something tons
yeah.
for one
So
base.
the Sterling does carry a little bit less than the Lancasters and the Lincolns, but
But it
yes, it is
survives.
faster. Yeah, it is. If you're getting shot at, no, you will.
Well, you're gonna die in all of them. It's a British plane, but
Yeah. So yeah, Sterling's at 4.7. You have two of them, so you actually can respawn in if you die in your Sterling Mark 3, you can respawn in your Sterling Mark 1. If you were gonna do that, what else would you take at 4.7? Um, I think the British are really strong at 4.7. Tons to choose from.
what?
What would you take? What would you take with them?
I would play 4.3 realistically. I ain't playing. I wouldn't play 4.7 because they have like one plane at 4.7, and you're gonna up your entire BR for well two. The Spitfire, one Spitfire, the Whirlwind. That's it.
Okay, so you would basically spawn in your Sterling, drop your bombs. Hopefully, you get more than one bomb load off. If you can get all the, don't die, that'd be awesome. And then 4.3, which is your Firebrand, Spitfire F.
And you got like 300 planes at that BR
Yeah,
for the
I
British
even like
now.
the Bowfighter Mark 21, the last Bowfighter. I like that one
If
sometimes.
you're good at it,
I despise that bow fighter.
yeah, so do I. So I don't.
The British also have I don't know if you did I think it was the Christmas event or the Spitfire event. A lot of us have the Spitfire F Mark 9C. Do you play that often? Gold one? I think you have it too.
Which one?
The Spitfire, it's a tier 3 Spitfire F Mark 9C.
No, actually, I don't. I keep forgetting I own it.
Okay, so
I keep
four
forgetting.
four three British. Mark, what would you do? Remember, this is arcade, not
Just take the two Spitfires, the Firebrand and the Firefly, because they both drop um
Yeah.
bomb
two
loads.
2,000 pound bombs that you can use and it counts toward
Yeah.
your
Well, I'm actually suffering from lack of research on the British planes at that level. I have the Sterling. I got that because remember last year, Matrix had used the Sterling to get the bombing quota rather easily.
Mm-hmm.
My other one that I have is Spitfire F Mark 9, and I got some other Spitfires. But that's what I have in my lineup, just because that's what I have.
You could use this event to, grind out your,
Research.
yeah, grind out your British tree. You can be at well, 5-7, which is they have a huge between 5-0 and 5-7. It's the British tree is gigantic.
Okay,
So
I
what do
can see
you
that.
usually use? Like if you need to bomb bases, and what bomber do you usually use?
I use it on bomb bases actually. I've been using my BV-237, but that wouldn't apply for this event because it's a tier 2. It's a premium German.
Oh, the BV-238.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it carries a lot of bombs, but it's
it
slow,
does.
and the wings rip off really easy and realistic.
I don't know if you guys know about the new
Uh,
ME-264 Tier 3 bomber of the Germans. That thing rocks. It is fast and drops a huge bomb load. Same thing with the HE-177A5. Those two things have huge bomb loads.
What
Uh,
the frick am I looking at?
why no Chad doesn't play planes? Dan?
um, that's a good question. I uh, I have some 4-3. I don't have. I have a couple 4-7s, but again, I might even take some maybe the American lineup for the bombers.
Would that be the 4-0 lineup or the like
Or
the
no,
5-3s?
I'd probably do like the B-17s to have the 4,000 pounders,
Hmm,
like the 60.
yeah. Remember, unlike the other event where you have to drop bombs with bombers, this event it doesn't say, so you can actually use like a. I know Mark is a big fan of the BTD one. That carries a pretty big
Mm,
bomb load.
the
Same thing,
P-47s.
yeah, same thing with the 82s if you wanted to play a little bit later. The 84s, those carry some pretty big bomb loads nowadays. Even the I think Viper's always making fun of the P61 with the four 1,000 kilogram
Yeah,
bombs, which is
that.
more bomb load than some of the P17s.
Yep, yep, yep.
Why take the B25 when you can take the P61 and
Well, you
get
got
that one bomb
the
drop?
privateer's got a pretty decent payload too, I thought.
Yes, it does. The privateer does. Um, so that's for bombing bases. What do you get? What Mark or what would you play to try to get 11 kills in one battle? What's your lineup? What is your lineup to win games and get kills? What airplane lineup do you have? Gold included. Gold.
That's kind of tough. I mean, the best fighters I have as far as dogfighting are probably the British, but I don't have that many in the tier 3. The other ones I like are the American, just because of the amount of ammo they have.
50 cals.
Um,
Yeah, yep,
So what would you
the
take in this event, or what have you taken in the older events? Because you've been playing these events a long time too, to get that American, to get that plane trophy.
Historically, I focus on the tanks. I really haven't done much of the planes.
Just take the no skill P47 and
I
the
was, I
61.
was just gonna say that you got the all the guns on the P-47s. You got a P-51. It's 4.
That's all you
Um,
need.
Um,
If you need to play that way.
Before we go any further, I gotta admit I've actually uh not cheated, but gone really hardcore with this event. You can play if you have both P47s at 3.0 or 3.3 in arcade, and let's say an XF5F, which is a 3.0, and the new SB2C with the gun pods. No, that one actually does not have gun
mm,
pods. It's the 401. Or the Corsair F4U 1-D. That's four planes you can take out and playing it at 3.3.
yep.
And at 3.3, the only things you have to be afraid of in the sky are early BF 109s. Because they will get higher than you and dive on you. But this is arcade, and most 90% of the people that fly arcade don't use the planes like they should. So if you bring backups for your P-47s, use a lot of those universal backups that we have saved up, you can actually do this event at 3.3 American.
Yep.
It's it's
That's pretty
it's
impressive.
it's
Yep.
awful to say, but you can do it at 3.3. Um, so Mark, you didn't have lined up. Viper, you've gotten a lot of the plans in the past. What did you usually use? What has done you well in the past?
Uh, 4.7, 4.3 British Spitfires.
Same thing. Okay. Um.
I don't use anything else for the events.
Okay.
I play every country, but I will only use my British for the events.
Because they
I have
fly
the
well.
well, no, because they have my best crews.
Okay. Crews make a big difference, guys. In the events, they increase your reload. They keep your guns from jamming. They keep you from G-locking. So crews make a big difference. Remember, in airplanes, crew maxing out is 75. Dan, what do you do? Plane.
Well, my best crews are in my Russians, but you're limited by their ammo,
So,
the
what did
amount
you
of ammo
usually
that
use in
you're
the past years for the events?
Uh, it
Planes.
varied. It's I had to feel it out and see which I was doing best. And sometimes I've done the American lineup, the three
What's.
three.
Oh, you've done what I did? Ooh.
Yeah, yeah. I've tried that. And then when it didn't work for me, I would switch over to like either British or German.
What do you take for Germans?
Uh, let's see. For my German lineups, I was probably taking the two BF 109s, the Trop and the straight F, and then I'd probably take like one of the Dornies for bombing. And yeah, I probably usually take like three fighters and two bombers because you can use all five planes in your.
You could use more than five
Well,
planes.
well, yeah, I know. But you
Six,
can use a
seven.
whole plane lineup, not like tanks where
Yeah.
you're only limited to three. But
Hmm.
usually I take a couple bombers and a few fighters, so that way I can alternate. Yeah, that's about it.
Okay, and so in this game, same thing, kill 11 in one battle. Um, Besides my P-47s that I've doing for that, um, Poporshkin's P39N-0 is the 3.3 Tier 3. Um, this thing just destroys everything at 3.3. I'm going to show you my service record with Proportions P39N, and it's going to be air kills. I've killed 1,256 planes with this P39N. at at 3.3, basically you spawn in it, you get higher than everyone else, and you try to boom and zoom all the bombers and fighters that try to go up against you. Um, The only things that will stop you are BF 109s, and hopefully you will have some friends because the BF 109s cannot dogfight two people at once. So get high, boom and zoom, and this thing will serve you well. The P39N in the Russian tree. Um, so we're gonna be playing that together. So we're gonna be doing, you know, shooting people. I know when I'm trying to get assist, a lot of times I play with the buttons separated from the main gun and the machine guns. So like with the P39, I will not shoot the main gun, not the 37 mil. I will shoot only the 50 cals to get hits on the enemy. I'm trying to maim them and not kill them, and let my friends finish them off. Um, Dan, what do you think? Win 10 battles, kill 11, 7 assists. Anything you want to
Hmm.
say?
Uh, no, no. Just again, play to your strengths. Whatever you got, what you're
Viper?
good at. Muted again.
Probably.
Yeah, I'm
Um,
muted. Hold on, I'm in the middle of dogfighting.
He's in
Punchy.
the middle of cursing.
He's in the middle of practicing, is what it is.
I'm
Mark,
actually
what
gonna
do you
try
think?
that American 3-3 lineup. Honestly, I've been looking at some of the things. The Japanese actually have an interesting lineup around 4-3, all the zeros, but that would be
Oh,
good for
they
dogfighting.
rocket 4-3.
Yeah, I've also got the premium, the 4-7 A6 M5 Co, which
Yes,
is
that
working
was
around 4-7.
the part of the Japanese campaign, the Pacific campaign, that usually goes on sale during wintertime for $7.49. Right now it's like 15. You get the campaigns, you get some Golden Eagles and some premium time, and it's probably one of the best buys in War Thunder ever. Because if you buy it at half price, you're getting a tier 4 plane that you can use to grind out most of your tier 4 and tier 5 Japanese lineup.
Hmm.
Also increase your cruise.
Yes. So, yes, 4-7 Japanese planes, they have a lot to choose from. If you don't like the zeros, you can always take out the KI-61s.
The KS are pretty maneuverable.
Yes. One thing you won't be doing in the Japanese lineup is bombing.
Bombing.
The
Well,
Japanese have
you will. It's just taking you forever.
Japanese
Yeah.
have like the worst loadouts ever for
Hey man, just because it takes you
bombs.
9 runs to kill a base doesn't mean it's bad.
That's right. That G5 is pretty
Okay,
maneuverable.
so Viper, anything you want to add to planes?
Nah, just like I for everything I say, just play what you're good at, play what you enjoy.
Okay. We're going to be talking about something that almost nobody here enjoys that much, which
Oh,
is,
Alex, I was gonna add
Boats?
one more thing actually.
yes,
I was actually looking in
Matrix.
my Russian line. Oh, sorry, Matrix. I was looking at my lineup, and I can't see the portion. I think they may have removed it if you don't have it in your
Yeah,
stable already.
it's not on the thing anymore.
What is it?
The
Um,
Pushkin.
Yes,
The
it's
boat
it's not
lineup,
there
yeah.
anymore. Yeah.
okay.
Um. Yeah. So let's talk about boats, guys.
Hey,
So the
boats isn't bad now that they fixed the wait time. You play in a lot of
AI.
undersized missions, but it's fun. Well, at least at low tiers. I don't mind that too much.
Okay, so there is one itty bitty difference for ships. Um, so all the rest of these events you're doing in tier 3 to tier 7. So boats is actually tier 2 to tier 4. So
Hmm.
tier 2s count in boats. And the five things you have to do, uh, 25,000 damage while controlling a ship, win 10 battles, 50% activity or higher, capture 10 points while controlling a ship or aircraft. Or aircraft, guys. You can land
Huh.
on a point and take it, and it will count towards
Hmm.
your ship capture, not the plane. So keep that in mind. Destroy 3 vehicles with torpedoes while controlling ship or aircraft. You guys might like
Yep.
that.
HE-111.
Dan's already calling that out. Finish the battle in first place in a naval battle. You do not have to win. Okay. So, Mark, I think you probably have the most boat time here out of all of us. Um, if you were going to do this, what would you do? What would you focus in on first? 3 torpedo kills, capture 10 points. Uh, we never want to win. You don't want to focus in on winning the 10 times because that's a long. You shouldn't focus on that one. That should always be the last one you focus in on.
Yeah. One of the things I've actually had better luck on torpedoes. I'd probably focus on the torpedoes of enemy ships first because it's kind of fun. But I've actually had the most luck in realistic because they don't see you as much as easily, and so it's easier to like maneuver behind an island to get an approach to a ship, and then surprise them, drop your torpedo. But the BTD one actually has a good torpedo. Actually, does it have one or two? I think it carries two.
It's 2.
Um, in addition, the American torpedoes at that level, you can fly at a fairly high altitude and a fairly fast speed. Most of the other countries have a much slower speed, at least for
Mm.
realistic, without your torpedo drowning.
Yeah, so those are 2 Mark 13 1944 torpedoes. And yeah, um, you got a boat that carries 2 torpedoes at 4.3. And it's a tier 3. But what ships are you taking at that 4.3? Are you taking what kind of boats are you taking?
Destroyers.
My ships, I've got everything up except for the Brooklyn for the American lineup on the. So I've got five the Trenton, which is 5.0, and the Raleigh, which is 5.3.
Mm-hmm.
I would probably take those.
Do you find it easier torpedoing these big boats with like a BTD at this high level? They're
It
just kind of slow.
depends. Ideally, if you can find a destroyer, some of the earlier destroyers don't have anti-aircraft guns. If you can
Like
find one of
the
those,
Clemson.
yeah. If you can find one of those are very easy targets.
It's not
Just
even
to go over
shooting
there,
back at you.
and then you'll have a second torpedo that you can drop on his friend somewhere else, and this you actually can get two kills in one little
Yeah.
pass there.
And just remember, in arcade, your torpedoes reload. So you can probably do the torpedoes in one game, Mark, couldn't you?
But you get shot down a lot more if you're in arcade.
Yes, but we're talking arcade.
Mm. Damn it.
Theoretically.
Remember, if you want to talk about realistic battles, head over to the
Oh,
European
sorry.
Canadians channel
Oh,
and
okay,
watch his
sorry. Yeah.
video.
Okay, yeah, yeah. Yeah, no, definitely. Yeah.
Hmm. So, Dan mentioned the what plane was that, Dan?
Ugh. Uh,
The Heinkel
the
111
HU
H
111
H6.
H6. Yep.
So that carries 2 torpedoes, right?
Yep.
That's one of your faves.
Yep. And realistic, it fires both of them, I believe, at the same time.
What?
I think. I can't remember. I usually don't play it in realistic, but
No,
I
we're only
know if.
talking about arcade here.
Oh, okay. All right.
Mark's the
Well,
only
then
one talking realistic, so he's in the
okay.
corner right now.
All right. So yes, in arcade you can drop them individually. But I think in realistic, for some reason, they drop. You hit the button, they discard both of them.
Okay, so that is 2.7, rank 2. What ships would you take with those at 2.7?
Fleet.
You got your
Well,
you got all your
my torpedo
tugs.
boats.
That SU-100
I don't have the
or
yeah
the S-100,
the
whatever it is.
100s.
The Schnellboat S100,
Yep.
1945.
Because there's two Schnell boats, isn't there?
Yeah, the S100, 1944.
Yeah. I would probably take those. I might even take a destroyer, 3.7,
Okay.
just to for some because some of the destroyers have some
Torps.
good torps too.
Yeah, it looks like some of the destroyers are having like 6. At 3.7, they have 6 torpedoes on each of those. Looks like the Kanonen boat does not have torps.
Yeah, no, yeah, Kanonen boat doesn't have any torps.
But the Kanonen boat, I mean, you can do a lot of damage with those 120s.
Yep,
So you're also going for damage. So you would play at like a 3.0,
a
3.27
3.7, a 3.7 lineup.
to get your torps out of the way, you'd get that in out of the way
Yeah,
first.
I would play 3-7, and then I would use use the uh, HE 111.
So you could actually use like your AFD and your
Yeah.
AFD,
Well, I
get
don't have
those,
those unlocked yet, but
get that damage, and then use your Heinkel to get the torpedo kills.
yep.
Get those knocked out of the way.
Yeah. So yeah, definitely the first thing I would do is my torpedoes.
Um, what would you use to come in first place? I mean, what is that?
Ugh.
I'm gonna kill everybody in the game, even if we lose type boat or lineup. I want to come in
Mm,
first place.
You pray to Iron Jesus.
yeah.
Okay,
Yeah, that's a
so
good question. That I don't have an answer for.
Yeah, let's say that. Iron Jesus.
so
That,
if you want torp kills, in the Russians have a lot of gunboats. N- Not a lot of torpedoes in their
no,
lineups.
their lower ones don't have a lot of torpedoes. They're all just tank turrets on them.
T-35 turrets sent out
T-34,
there.
T-34s. Yeah.
Also, another thing, just as a thought, which I guess is fairly well known, if you have a destroyer, you have a lot of torpedoes. Sometimes it's worthwhile at the very beginning part to fire a small fan in a direction of an enemy
Spawn.
spawn area, and if you have all the upgrades where you have the increased range, you can often they'll get over there
You
and
can get some surprise hits.
yeah, and as long as you don't have teammates that crash into your torpedoes.
That is
So
a pretty good thing to do. Just spawn in your destroyer, shoot at the launch your torpedoes. Just spray and pray. Yeah, just do that. Anything else that has good torpedoes, as in a sense of fighters for any of the countries?
Uh, well, the Americans have a couple good torpedoes. Uh, yeah, I think does the Russian have one? I'm trying to remember now. I don't use them that often.
FYI, the H.E.A.T. and the
IL-4 has torpedo, but
no, I was gonna say the gold um, Japanese plane at 3.7 carries two torpedoes and you can land.
well, that's yeah. You got a floating boat. Yeah.
Yeah. But the other ones are only tier 1. That one counts as a tier 2, so you can use it in the event if need be. That'd be kind of neat.
You
oh,
thinking?
one
So
other
you're
thing.
thinking the H8 K3?
Yeah, the H.E.A.T. carries two torpedoes and it can land on a point. So that might actually be something to look into if you want to take that point from the enemy.
Okay. Another thing I would suggest is look at the height of the torpedoes from the airplanes that what they have to be launched at, as well as the speed. Certain countries, like the American ones, actually can be launched from a much higher altitude.
Yeah.
That increases your survivability of dropping your torpedoes and getting out of there.
Mm-hmm.
I'm looking at the Japanese Type 91 Mod 2, and it looks like the drop altitude is 0 to 260 meters.
Oh, that's pretty good.
The American, let's see, the ones on the BTD. Let's look at those. These are American Mark 13 slash 44s. They have a drop range of 250 meters. Drop height. So the Japanese win.
Yeah. Well, I think that the Germans and the Russians had some which have much lower altitude. And I think the British too had ones that had
Okay,
much lower
so
altitudes.
the German Friedrich 5 whiskey. Yeah, those have to be dropped at 120 meters. So you have to get really low to drop those. Dan, what's your advice? You've destroyed many things with the Heinkel. So you have to get in really
Mm.
low and drop them?
I prefer to get in low. I use the islands for cover, and just try to come in quick and launch and At least the Heinkel's very maneuverable. You just pull back on that thing. That thing can almost do a complete barrel roll. So drop and get the hell out.
Okay, so for
That's usually what I.
planes Russians with the torpedo, there's basically only one, the IO-4.
Yep.
And that has a drop height of 105.
Yes.
No,
Yes.
thank you. Yeah, as we all know, there's no Italian and France ships yet, so we don't have to worry about those countries at all. So, Mark, when you do this event, what are you going to be focusing in on first? The torpedoes, and then what?
Let's see. Mm,
The 25,000 damage, win 10 games, capture 10 points,
yeah,
or coming in
probably
first?
probably 25,000. Because I mean, it's relatively easy to do with larger ships.
Hmm.
Yeah. You
Um,
bring in destroyers for
in
that.
Yeah, in a previous, I think in the previous event, actually, we had a friend who was actually using the bomber, in a ship battle and was able to get credit for that. The warden of this may have changed,
While
but
controlling ship, yes.
while control. Okay, I
So
mean
you can't
that's what
do
I'm
the
wondering.
damage in planes this time.
Okay, okay, but yeah, no, I would probably just use the heavy cruisers or light cruisers, and then
Okay.
just whale shells over at the enemy.
Dan, what are you
Mm.
going to be focusing in on first and second?
First, probably the torpedo and they're all kind of hand in hand. The torpedo kills and as much damage as I can do. So I'd probably be running my German lineup for that. Running the all the three
Three,
sevens.
yeah. Remember, use
And
this event to grind out your trees, guys. Use it. Take
yeah, because
advantage of having to play it.
yeah.
Viper, how about you? What are you going to be doing? What country and what are you going to be focusing in on?
Don't know. I
Don't
tell
know
you the
yet.
truth. For boats, I don't know if I'm gonna do boats this time.
Okay. Last thing I
If
wanted to
anybody wants to buy a Leningrad, I have it on sale.
Okay. So one thing I wanted to point out to people is if let's say like Viper, he doesn't know if he's going to do the boats or maybe even a boat. Every vehicle you get in this event is going to be a coupon. Um, and as you know, you can sell that coupon on the marketplace for Gaijin coin. And Gaijin coin is a 1-to-1 to dollar, and that you can use to buy premium time,
Packages.
anything, packs. So if you're going into this event and you only want, let's say, the obel, the second tank vehicle, play the planes every once in a while. Play the boats. See if you can get marks of distinctions. Maybe even if you only get half and you get like the first boat and the first plane, and then you can sell those on the marketplace. Plus, you also get decals and other things that are included in those packages that you're going to be getting too. But you can sell those, and you can actually make a little bit of Gaijin coin that you can use to buy premium time. There are a lot of people on here that don't have premium time, and you could actually, in this 24-day event, if you got all 6 vehicles, that is more than enough to sell to get premium for 2 years with that amount of money. If you wait for the sale to buy the premium time, but that's more than enough vehicles to sell on the marketplace to get your premium time, so you don't have to worry about you know using your own money. Anything else? Any advice? Anything on the events? I know Viper already pointed out the flame icons are kind of ugly. Um, Dan, anything you want to talk about the
Yeah.
event before we go?
It's not a build a bear work event, right?
No, it's not.
Well, that's a good thing.
Okay, Mark.
No, no additional thoughts.
Uh, Chad, Midnight Marauder. He's muted.
I was muted. You guys didn't want to hear me.
So, anything you want to add to anything we said since you were muted half that time?
Negative.
Negative Ghost Rider.
I didn't even really listen to what you guys were saying before. As soon as I hear planes and
Ships.
all that
Zones
stuff,
out.
I kind of just fall asleep.
Okay, yeah, so that's it for this video. I probably will putting out another video just talking about the 6 vehicles that we can win. Thanks for listening. If you can, just subscribe and give this video a like. Thanks for listening. From Matrix and the Class Act Squadron, we thank you, and
Stay
bye.
sexy, baby.